From the moment the front door opened that chilly Thursday morning, something felt different inside the Turner household. Maybe it was the excited tapping of giant paws on the hardwood floor. Maybe it was the soft babbling of 8-month-old Noah, who seemed a little more curious than usual. Or maybe, just maybe, it was because today was the first day the family's enormous St. Bernard moose would officially meet the newest member of the family face to face without a barrier. And no one, not even Rachel or Mark Turner, the baby's parents, had the slightest idea how unforgettable this moment was about to become. You see, Moose wasn't just big. He was huge. 160 pounds of fur, warmth, and slow, lumbering movements. The kind of dog that looked intimidating from a distance, but melted into a puddle of affection the moment he saw someone he loved. Ever since Noah came home, almost as if he knew his world was about to change, but he wasn't sure how. And now, here he was, sitting patiently in the living room, like a gentle, oversized bear, waiting for his first real interaction with the tiny human who had turned the household upside down. Rachel held Noah gently in her arms. "Okay, buddy, ready to meet Moose?" Noah's eyes widened the moment he spotted the giant dog. His lips curled into a gummy smile, and he let out an excited squeal that echoed across the room. Moose's ears perked up, his head tilted slightly, and his entire body stilled, as if analyzing every sound, every movement, every breath coming from the baby. Mark knelt beside Moose, one hand resting on the dog's massive shoulder. "Easy, big guy. Remember what we practiced." Moose's chest rose and fell slowly. The dog wasn't nervous. He was focused, deeply focused. And the Turner family knew Moose well enough to recognize that this wasn't fear. This was care, thoughtfulness, almost responsibility. Rachel lowered Noah onto the soft blanket spread across the floor. Instantly, Noah's tiny hands reached out toward Moose, toward the giant, furry face staring back at him with warm, brown eyes. But then Noah did something no one expected. He leaned forward. He opened his small arms. He tried to hug the giant St. Bernard. And that was the moment everything changed. Moose lifted his giant paw, not to swat, not to push, but to brace himself, placing it carefully on the floor, so close to Noah that Rachel held her breath. The dog lowered his massive head slowly, gently, impossibly. Then he giggled, the sweetest, most uncontrollable baby giggle. And Moose, he responded in the softest way imaginable. He leaned his head against Noah's tiny body, allowing the baby to wrap his little arms around his thick fur. The dog didn't move, didn't flinch, didn't even breathe too deeply. He simply stayed still, absorbing the tiny warm embrace, as if he knew exactly how fragile this moment was. Mark whispered, "I can't believe this." But the unexpected part wasn't the hug. It was what happened right after. Because the instant Noah released Moose from his clumsy embrace, Moose shifted his body, slowly, and positioned himself between Noah and the coffee table. At first, Rachel didn't understand, but then she noticed Noah wobbling. His attempt to sit upright wasn't very stable yet. He leaned a little too far to one side, And if Moose hadn't nudged his giant body over to act as a cushion, Noah would have toppled right over onto the wood. Moose had anticipated it. He had seen it before anyone else. And what he did next surprised the entire family even more. Moose stayed in that position, guarding, watching. Not stiff or anxious, just present. A living, breathing safety net. When Noah tried to crawl forward, Moose shifted with him. When Noah wobbled again, Moose steadied him using the soft side of his body. When Noah reached for Moose's fur to pull himself up, the giant dog lowered himself even more, bracing his weight to help the baby use him like a furry balance bar. It was instinct. Pure instinct. The unexpected part wasn't Moose's gentleness. It was the fact that he seemed to know exactly what Noah needed, before anyone said a word, before Noah even realized it himself. Rachel wiped a tear from her cheek. I think he's been waiting for this moment. And she was right. Because the next 30 minutes unfolded like something out of a heartwarming documentary. Noah began to crawl for the first time without help, and Moose followed close behind, acting like a patient older sibling. When Noah got tired and plopped onto his belly, Moose stretched out next to him, letting the baby rest against his warm side. When the baby giggled at Moose's tail wagging, Moose wagged even more, slower and softer, careful not to accidentally bump Noah. At one point, Noah placed his tiny hand on Moose's giant nose. Moose closed his eyes. It was the ultimate display of trust from both of them. But the biggest surprise came later that afternoon, because for months, Noah had struggled with separation anxiety. Anytime Rachel tried to put him down, even for a moment, he cried, loudly, desperately. But that day, with Moose lying beside him, something changed. Rachel cautiously stepped away to grab her phone. Normally, Noah would have cried before she even stood up. Instead, he reached out and touched Moose's fur again. And Moose, sensing the movement, gently nudged the baby's hand with his nose, as if saying, "It's okay, I'm right here." Rachel covered her mouth. "Mark, are you seeing this?" Noah, the baby who clung to his mother at every second, was completely calm because Moose was next to him. And that was when Rachel and Mark finally understood something that had been building quietly since the day they brought Noah home. Moose wasn't just their pet. He wasn't even just a family dog. Moose had taken on a role no one expected. He had become Noah's protector, not in a dramatic or dangerous way, but in the everyday moments that mattered most. The unstable sitting, the clumsy crawling, the tiny hand reaching for support, the fear of being alone for even a few seconds. Moose handled all of it, naturally, effortlessly, lovingly. Throughout the week, Moose continued surprising the Turners. When Noah dropped his toy, Moose nudged it back toward him with a gentle push of his nose. When Noah fell asleep on the rug, Moose curled around him, not touching, but close enough to shield him from cool drafts. When Noah laughed at something on the TV, Moose wagged his tail like it was the best sound in the world. And every night, before climbing onto his bed, Moose would check Noah's crib, sniff the air, and then settle down, only after confirming the baby was safe. The Turners couldn't believe it, but friends, family, and eventually even strangers online would soon witness it too, because one afternoon, Mark captured a short video on his phone. Noah trying to crawl, Moose shifting into position, Noah hugging Moose again, and Moose responding with a slow, careful, lean hug of his own. It was simple, short, but unbelievably heartwarming. Mark uploaded it to social media with a caption that read, "Our Saint Bernard finally met our baby." And what he did next? Within 24 hours, it had 2 million views. Within 48 hours, it hit 10 million. People from all over the world fell in love with the gentle giant who had become a baby's best friend. Comment after comment poured in. "This is why dogs are angels." I cried, not even ashamed. "Protect this sweet giant at all costs. My heart can't take this." And the Turners, they weren't surprised at all, because they already knew the truth. Moose wasn't just a pet. He was family. He was love in its purest form. He was the kind of dog who carried the heart of a guardian and the soul of a gentle friend. And Noah, tiny, curious, wobbling Noah, had chosen him from the very first hug. A hug that changed everything. A hug that revealed a bond no one expected to form so quickly. A hug that proved something simple, beautiful, and true. Sometimes the safest place in the world is in the fur of the gentle giant who loves you more than anything. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment your thoughts below. Your support helps us create more heartwarming stories like this.